Hey everyone, welcome. We are having a really exciting show today with my friend Courtney Enochs. She helped revitalize her Democratic Party in Ripley County, a very rural county in Indiana. And guess what? It was super easy. And it went from barely anybody coming to meetings to lots of people coming to meetings. How did she do it? How can others do this? What do you care about? How do you start a local movement in your area? We're going to break it down for you. And we're going to also talk about why this is so important. Courtney, I just recently met you. You are awesome. I'm so glad we're friends now. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Actually, we my me and my toddler just brought a stray kitty home the other day, so I apologize if
Oh,
the cat tries to run
no,
over
that would be
here.
good. We want the cat to come on. That sounds fun. Bring the cat. What's it look
Yeah,
like?
my spouse wasn't super excited when me and my toddler brought a stray kitty home after walking from school, but we were like, "Oh, he needs a home," and
Well,
so
that
now we
is a
have a
really
cat. So that's how it happened.
that's a really sweet story. Okay. So Ripley
So I'm
County,
doing
I've
great.
never been to
Good.
Ripley County. I don't really know where it is other than I have heard it's in District 9, which is important for my friend Tim Peck running for Congress in District 9. Um, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because this is really important, everybody. She
hmm
just started getting involved in the Democratic Party here, and she's already doing a lot in the Democratic Party in Ripley County. So she is brand new and already doing a ton of stuff. That's why I wanted her on. How in the world did she do this? So tell us a little bit about yourself, and especially tell us that you weren't politically active until recently, which is really important to this story.
hmm Yeah. So I am a registered nurse. I grew up in a really small town. And I moved to Indianapolis when I was 18 because I wanted to help people. And also at the time, I really was into Grey's Anatomy. So,
That's cute.
so yeah, I went downtown to Indianapolis for college. I graduated from nursing school. And so yeah, I'm kind of back in another small town. I love small towns and living in small towns. I love the vibe. I love the people. And so I currently live in Batesville, Indiana, and it's kind of midway between, I would say, Indianapolis and Cincinnati, Ohio. So
Oh,
it's kind of
okay.
a nice area, I think, because it's easy to kind of back or jump back and forth between the two cities. It's just very convenient.
Is it
Um,
about an hour away from each
so
one?
yeah.
Oh, that is nice. That does sound nice. I'm 2 hours
Yeah, I
from
would say it
Indy.
is pretty center.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
nice.
it's
Yeah.
about an hour to each one, so.
Cool. Okay, so you are a nurse now. You work from home. That's why you
Mhm.
have your fancy headset. That's nice.
Mhm.
And how many
Yes.
you're a mom?
Mhm.
How
Yeah,
many kids
so,
do you have?
just one. I have a little boy named Oliver. His birthday was just last week, so he just turned 4 years old.
Aw,
And yeah, like you said,
congratulations.
I thank you. But yeah, like you said, I am a little nervous. I've never been on a show, especially not live or not live. I'm just a regular person out here trying to make a difference in my community. I have never really been involved before to this level, so I'm still learning myself. But yeah, it's been really exciting to connect with a lot of like-minded people in our community that want to make positive change.
Yeah,
So I can kind of go into how
yeah, how you made it. So
do you wanna
that's
kind
why I
of,
wanted you on
have
here.
me just kinda describe
So you wanted to get involved. You kind of are looking at the media and the news, and you're kind of worried about Indiana particularly, or are you worried about the nation before you started getting involved, or both?
mhm.
So both. And then yeah,
Yeah,
so
and I
you
apologize. Sometimes when you speak, there's a lag.
yeah, I wonder if I should switch to my phones. I'm just gonna switch. My phone's not great, but let's switch to my phone and see if it's any better.
Yeah,
Let's
I can hear
see.
you fine. I think we're overlapping each other a bit because there's a lag.
Okay, see if it's any better now. But it's trying to get, it might not be any better. I don't know what's going on with the internet. Sorry guys, hang with us. We'll get it figured out. Okay. So can you hear me any better? No, it didn't work.
Yes, actually, I think it's a little bit better.
Okay. So take us into you all of a sudden were like, wait a minute, I'm going to do something. I can't just sit back and let Indiana be so extreme. People that follow Project Next realize we do have extreme people in power. They're not representing the majority of Hoosiers at the state level, regardless of whether you're Republican, Democrat, or a voter or whatever. And so you decided you wanted to get
Mhm.
involved. How did you first start? What's the first thing you did when you were like, I think I'm going to do something? I'm going to get involved.
Well, like probably millions of people, I was pretty disappointed with the election results in 2024. And there actually was a little, I don't know if I'd call it incident, but a situation that happened before the election. Of course, in small towns, it's very much Republican. So there's a lot of Trump signs everywhere you go. And I am one of the minority people that is a Democrat here. So, I wanted to express that I was, going to support Kamala in the election. So, I had just a small Kamala vote for Kamala sticker on my car. And then we actually had a neighbor that came over and knocked on our door that seen our sticker, and they were like, "Oh, you guys might not want to have that on your car. Your house might get, egged or something." Which I thought was crazy because, we do live in a democracy and people should be able to express themselves and what they believe in and what they stand for without fear of doing so. So I had that response by just a tiny little sticker. So it's not surprising to me that people are scared and nervous in these small towns to openly even say they're a Democrat at the minimum, let alone get more involved
So
to
you
a
literally
higher
did feel
degree.
like the thing I'm telling everybody is not true. You felt like the blue dot in a red sea, when in reality that's not the truth in Indiana at all. And did
Hmm.
anybody,
Yes.
egg your house or anything because of the Kamala sticker? No. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So
I've
I
had
put up
no trouble.
signs for local elections in 22 and everybody was scared that something was going to happen to our house and nothing happened. Everything
Hmm.
was fine. But this time I did get a bunch of signs stolen. So, a
Hmm.
bunch of people
And
got
that did
signs
happen
stolen.
to us too.
Yeah, and that happened
Eventually,
to Republicans too. Republicans had their signs taken as well, and I
yes.
just would like to point out,
Hmm.
please don't steal people's signs. One, it's illegal, and two, signs cost
Hmm.
about $10 each. I made very little money because I like didn't take corporate money or anything for my campaign, so $10 is a lot for me. And I think I had at least 10 signs stolen. That's $100 of campaign donations that my friends and family and people that supported me and supported public education donated, and it was just that was what was so painful. It was the money aspect because I didn't have a lot. So, but nothing
Hmm.
like
I totally agree. I'm like, please don't do that. It doesn't matter who you are or what sign you're stealing. It's just bad to do and
I,
it's
I
illegal,
really
like you
want
said. And it's just, yeah.
I really
We
want
had our
in an
signs stolen
election.
too.
Yeah, I think the person that gets the most votes should win, even if that person's
Hmm.
not the one I voted for. I totally believe in democracy. So I'm okay that people voted for Karen Engelman and she won. That's democracy. I'm not
Hmm.
okay with somebody saying I can't put a sign in my yard. It's like,
Yes.
no, we all get to go. Those of us that are registered to vote, if we can
Hmm.
go and vote for who we think is best. That's what we're fighting for. That's the freedom that soldiers fight for us for. And so it frustrates me that
Exactly.
people are very scared.
Right.
There was clearly some fear there, and
Hmm.
that's why. And it's like, no, no, talk to people. Then if you're so worried about me and think I'm so bad, talk to people and help convince them to vote for the other person. Don't take somebody's sign. Okay, so
Hmm.
you had
Yes.
you put the
Yeah.
Kamala sticker up. You hear there's fear from just putting the sticker on your car. What do you do next?
Well, I've always been a voter, and for people that know me, I've always expressed how I feel. But really, what got me more involved was kind of experiences like that, where I was like, wait a minute, that's crazy. Like, I should not have fear of how I feel just because I'm not, maybe not the majority. in this area. That's not democracy at all, and people shouldn't be treating each other like that. And so it just made me think more about how there's probably so many people like me in this community that feels the same exact way. And that's probably why, we do drive around and see a lot of Trump signs, but not a whole lot of any other parties, because people just don't want to deal with, people being mean to
Negative
them.
emotions,
Most of
people
us
getting
are
yelled
regular,
at.
everyday working people, and mhm,
Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah, and
totally
we
agree
have
with you on
kids, and
that.
we want to protect
Yeah.
them too. Um,
I think that you guys are safe.
so it makes
I
sense
think
to
it
me
is
why
safe in
people are
Ripley County.
afraid.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think it is safe in Ripley County to put up a sign of
Yes,
what
I
you
think
want.
so
I
too.
think that's how we show people that, who we want to vote for, and we want other people to vote for them too. I noticed
Hmm.
a lot more signs in this last
Yeah.
election for Democrats in 24 than I did for 22
Hmm.
and for 20. And I feel like people now realize, like in my county, my rural county, where 7 out of 10 voters do vote Republican, that we're not blue dots, that there are a lot of us, and we are starting to put more signs down. So I am hopeful about that. And I hope that comes to your county too, because I think
Hmm.
your county's even more
Hmm.
behind than mine, honestly. Okay, so what made you, like, did you think, do we have a county Democratic Party? Like, where did you get with this? So you want to get involved. What's going on?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, so my first thought was, I kind of want to get more involved and see how I can help. Um, and I just kind of had this realization that there's not going to be some savior that comes and fixes everything, and improves things and lowers the temperature in these, especially these rural areas. So I just kind of came to that realization that it's me. Like, the normal everyday people are the people that have to start speaking up and saying something and bringing people together, or else nothing is ever going to change. So I guess I just kind of had that realization. And part of that is because, and this is a shout out to a group in Indiana called Indiana Nasty Women. And I was kind of just socializing on there and expressing, like, I want to get more involved. I don't know how. And just talking to like minded people. And a lot of people were expressing, like, hey, most people focus a lot on the national level. However, people forget about their local officials. Um, so that was kind of how I learned, like, yeah, I need to get more involved at the local level. I've never really done that before. And so from there, I was just kind of like, how do I do that? I had no idea if there was even a Democratic presence here, local party. I knew absolutely nothing. So I just kind of started by looking it up on the internet. I looked at who was on my ballot, and started chatting with one of the local um, Democratic leaders that was running for our district. And I started chatting with her. And then from there,
Is
I
that
found
Blythe
out that there
Potter?
actually was a local party here.
Who are you talking about?
No, Victoria Martz.
Oh, Victoria Martz. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I met Victoria because
Yes.
she's part of the
Hmm.
Indiana Rural Summit with
So I
me.
saw Victoria Martz. Yes, yeah. So I saw she was on my ballot. I had never heard of her before, or seen her. So I decided to reach out to her, to see, hey, I'm kind of interested in helping out. I just don't know how to get involved. I thought you'd be a good place to start. And so she ended up connecting me with the local Democratic Party, which I didn't even know existed before that. So really, all I did was show up to. I found out that they did have monthly meetings. So I was like, what the heck? I'm just going to show up to one of the meetings. I was nervous because I've never been involved any higher than you know voting and things. So I just kind of showed up, and my intent was just to say, hey, I'm also a Democrat that lives here, and I want to know how I can help. So that's kind of what started my involvement in the local party here. And then from there, when I went to my first meeting, I just fell in love with the people. They were so sweet. I was very nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I had never been to like a political meeting before, and they were very, very welcoming. And also, I just could tell they were just really good, down to earth people, and they made me feel very comfortable. So that really encouraged me to continue going to the meetings and getting more involved. And so when I was kind of asking, hey, how can I help? They expressed to me that they were kind of having some trouble because they didn't really have anyone who was very adept with social media. And they weren't even, they didn't even know how to access their own Facebook page because the party had really like dwindled over the years. And really, there was only like, I want to say 5 to 8 people that were going to the meetings. So very, very small. So I was like, well, I'm a millennial. I'm good with Facebook. I can definitely help with that. So what I did was I quickly realized that the meetings weren't really promoted anywhere. So I could imagine that it would be hard for anyone to even know about the meetings. Just like myself, I kind of just learned through Victoria. Otherwise, I would have never known. So I thought, there has to be a lot more people like me that do want to get involved. They just don't know how, and they don't know that there's a local party here. So I got onto the Facebook page and I just used Canva and made just a nice looking little ad to describe or to express when the next meeting was and encourage people to attend. So that's all I really did. I shared it on the Ripley County Democrats Facebook page. And now, this second part that I did was, I would say, a little bit brave, but I really wanted people to know that we were here. So I also shared them in local community groups, knowing that I was probably going to get some hate for it just because it's a Democrat meeting. So I did that knowing that I was going to get some negativity, which was fine by me, because I just simply wanted to get the word out. So that's what I did. And I did not know what to expect. I didn't know if that would help. I don't have any experience in any of these things. However, we went to the next meeting. Uh, I pulled up. I personally, I was shocked. The parking lot was filled with cars. Like I couldn't find a parking spot. And I wanted to honestly just sit down and cry because I felt like, wow, just by me doing this small act, like I brought people together. And I didn't have to do anything extreme or crazy. Literally, I just shared the information online so that
Okay.
people knew.
This is
Um,
incredible.
mhm,
This is incredible, Courtney. So, first off, shout out to all of the people running the Ripley County Democrats for being so welcoming. They didn't know how to work Facebook. They didn't know how to do, they couldn't get on the Facebook page. So, good job to Victoria March for telling you about the meeting. You go there,
mhm.
they are welcoming, and they immediately let you help. That's
Yes.
huge. We have had
Mhm,
guests on before that have gone to their local Democratic Party and are met with, don't you come in here and think you can take control or do anything. And so I just want to acknowledge the welcoming factor. That's so important. I'm part of the leadership team of Harrison County Dems, and I always say how important that is that we are welcoming to new people because, like you said, you were scared going in there. You'd never
mhm.
been to a political meeting before. You didn't know what to expect. So it's really
Yes.
important that when new people come in, you're welcoming. You listen to them, you find out what they're good at. Do they want to help? How do they want to help? And let them get involved, give them some power to do stuff. And then you stepped up and shared the meeting all over the place. And then very quickly, you got a bunch of people at the next meeting. That's wonderful. That shows you're not a blue dot in a red sea. We've just been fed
Mhm,
that lie so many times that we believe it. It's not. We're actually a
mhm,
purple state. We have a turnout problem. It's very hard to vote in Indiana. We are not tiny little blue dots. So you saw that.
mhm.
They just didn't know where to
I
go,
did.
right? They didn't know where to
Exactly.
go. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then
They
you
did not.
somehow, how did you end up becoming, I know that you are secretary now of the party. How did that happen? Because that's pretty, it's just it has a lot to do with the timing of when you joined. But can you tell us about that?
Mhm. Yeah. So, just, that made me feel really good. And it made me feel like, wow, I didn't even realize I could make this much of a difference. Like, I truly had no idea just doing something like that would help so much. And then I do want to talk a little bit about that meeting when everyone, when there, I think there ended up being 30 plus people there. And just the vibes was the members who had been doing this for years were just sitting there in awe. They were just like looking around because they'd never seen so many
Oh,
people before show up to their meeting. So it was a beautiful moment, really. And people, um, like just in that first meeting, I could tell there was almost like a breath of relief for some people, feeling like, wow, I really did think I was alone. And look at all these people together. So I did just want to bring that up because it's true. We're not alone. And I actually ended up following up with that by writing an op-ed called Ripley. I forget what the title exactly is, but it's essentially like, hey, blue dots in Ripley County, you are not alone. We are here. And if you want to join us, we're very, very welcoming and inclusive. So come, stand.
I'm losing you, Courtney. I want you to click out of here, go to the email again and get on again, and I'll talk for a minute. And I think the internet might get better. So go ahead and go to your email and click on again, and we'll
Okay.
see. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, everybody, for the internet problems. So Courtney is so amazing because she was so brave in doing what she was doing. People are like, don't even say that you're a Democrat in Ripley County. It's all Republicans. It's dangerous. Well, it's not dangerous. The most that has happened is some signs got stolen. Um, so it's not dangerous. You're not alone. And then she puts out the word about the next meeting, and tons of people come. I'm having this happen in Harrison County too. We are having a lot of new people come to meetings. We actually have a meeting tonight in Harrison County and Corden. We have our monthly Democratic meeting at 7 o'clock in at the Harrison County Community Foundation, which is by the Boys and Girls Club in Corden, and everybody is welcome. Okay, talk again. Let's see if it's any better, Courtney. Is it any better?
Okay,
Shoot.
can you hear me?
Yes, I don't know if it's better or not.
I don't know
Okay,
what's going on.
it's all right. We'll deal with it. So how did you end up becoming secretary?
Mhm. So, well, it was very simple. They just liked me and was like, "Hey, you should be our secretary," and they voted me in. It was really that simple.
I've seen
Um,
that happen
it was
before in Harrison County when we've needed somebody and somebody's like, "Well, I know how to do this stuff. I'll do it." And we're like, "Okay, you're it."
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's why I want people to be encouraged to get involved because, like in my county, they had been doing this for years. They're tired. They're ready for some help. So, it's very easy to get involved. All you really have to do is just show up and help, in whatever capacity that you want to. And people, really, they're desperately wanting people to get involved. So, it's very easy. So yeah, that's all I really did. I just started showing up and contributed how I could. And then it was honestly only the second meeting. Yeah, it was the timing. I honestly had no idea about any of the rules of the Democratic Party or like when um, people are voted in or anything like that. It just happened to be that I think it was the very next meeting. They were like, we actually are voting for the next, party leaders. And I didn't even plan on being an official party leader. I just wanted to help. But, it was
You
so
saw a need.
encouraging to me.
They
I saw
really
a
needed
need.
you. Yeah, and you knew how to
Right.
do the skills that they needed. We just got
Hmm.
a new secretary, and she had only been to a couple of meetings, one meeting beforehand, and she said, "I would like to help," and she's already been a big help. We need a good secretary. That's a very important role. And I just
Hmm.
want to throw this out. This is not just for people that are Democrats. If you are listening to this and you are a Republican, and you want to help, you're seeing that the people that we've elected to represent us in Indiana are not um listening to us. They're not listening to Republicans. They're doing their own thing for their own reasons. We really need you to get involved in your Republican county party. So so just because we're talking about Democrats, that doesn't mean that this does not apply to Republicans. So all counties in Indiana should have a Republican county party and a Democrat county party, and they do similar things to what Democrats do. And we really need good people in those positions. And I'm wondering what it would be like. So if you are a Republican and you want to get involved and you start to get involved, please message Project Next and let us know how that is going. Because are you being welcomed in your county party? Are you being given some control to do some things to make things better? Especially, are you, are you focused on what actual Hoosiers want? We could help push the Republican Party to be better. It's very hard to push the Republican Party to be better when you're only on the Democrat side. We need good people on the Republican side to say, why are we dismantling public education? 90% of Hoosier children attend public. That's a lot of Republican children. More Republican children's parents, or the parents are Republicans, than Democrats. When you break it down, since we have more Republicans voting, why are they dismantling public schools? Shouldn't we try to
Mhm.
elect people in the Republican Party that will support public education? And so that could be a really good way to get in and to kind of see what's going on in your local county party. Now, I know a lot about the Republican Party in Harrison County. In ours, we have some gatekeepers, the Republican Party chair and the superintendent of the Parks Department. Those two do a lot of gatekeeping, and they really only want people in there that are going to do what they say. They don't want independent thinkers. They don't want people that support public education. So if you are in Harrison County, I would love to hear what happens when you attend a Republican county party meeting. I can't even see what's going on. I've been blocked from their Facebook page a few years ago, so I don't even know what's going on. Um, but I really hope some brave Republicans get on at the county levels and try to create positive change. And if they can't get in, I want to know about it because I just don't know. Um,
Mhm.
all right, so yeah, realize you can do this. So when I got joined the Harrison County Republican or the Harrison County Democrats, I just found them on Facebook and messaged them, and they invited me to a meeting, and it was during the
Mhm.
pandemic, and I just joined their Zoom meetings. So I didn't meet them in person for quite a while. We just met every month, and then I started texting some of them and calling some of them. So that was different, but they were very welcoming to me. Um, and sometimes I got my feelings hurt and they didn't do it on purpose, and I would just be like, "Well, I'm going to just keep coming. I'm not going to let, oh, my feelings got hurt one time stop me from going to a meeting. We'll got to take things
Mhm.
not so personally." Okay, so what things are you when is your next Ripley County Democratic meeting? Is there anybody listening in Ripley County or that lives around there? Could you invite them to your next meeting?
Yeah. So, it is tomorrow actually at, the meeting starts at 6:30 p.m., but you can arrive by 6 p.m. so you can get all signed in, and, it'll only be for about an hour. So from 6:30 to 7:30, it'll be at the Batesville Memorial, Public Library right here in town. And also, I'm glad that you mentioned about Republicans. I do want to say that our county party, we're very, very inclusive. We actually are, we don't just have Democrats even that come to our meetings. We have a lot of moderates and independents that come to our meetings too, because we have a lot of shared values. And so we all kind of work together. So we're very much inclusive of everyone. And like you said, that's part of a democracy, and that's what we're all fighting for at the end of the day. Everyone's voice deserves to be heard, and the more people that get involved and are, welcome to share their voice and feel empowered to do so, then the stronger that a democracy is.
Yes.
So we're very
Yes.
much focused on that in our local community.
That's really beautiful. So if you are in the Ripley County area, you can go to their meeting. It's May 14th on a Wednesday. You can get there at 6 to socialize, and the meeting 6:30 to 7:30 at, you said, the Batesville where?
Hmm. The
Where is it at?
Batesville Memorial Public Library.
Oh, at the library. Okay, that's nice. So yeah, you guys can go, and you do not
Hmm.
have to
Yes.
be a registered Democrat. You could be a Republican, you can be a non-voter, you can be a libertarian, independent, just now paying attention to politics and what's going on. That's totally fine. Same for Harrison County. Our meeting is tonight, Tuesday, May 13th. And we have a new really amazing volunteer named Tiffany, and she's an independent and she wants to help save public schools. So since she came in, she's already active in helping do stuff. So that's been really amazing. We've had quite a few new volunteers come. I asked how they found us, and they just looked us up. They either found us on the website, they found us on Facebook or on Instagram, and then some people messaged. I run the Democratic social media, so some of them messaged me, some of them sent it to other people like on email, and we just like told them when the meeting was. Some people came and we didn't know they were coming, so they just found it for themselves and just came. So just take that
Mhm.
step, see if there is a Democratic Party. If there isn't one, then you want to find out what district you are in, and you want to find out who the district chair is, and you want to reach out to them and have them help you get one started. It only takes a couple people to start one. And then you just basically reach out on social media, have a meeting someplace that's free, like at your library. Sometimes hospitals will let you have a meeting room. You just find a place that you can
Mhm.
have a free room. We're at the community foundation, that's free. We just need to reserve it. And then you pump it out there and you just start going, and you fill out some paperwork, which your district chair should help. So District 9 chair is Adam Dickey. If you're in this district, there are 9 districts. You can do a simple Google search to find out your chair or your district, and then look and see who the chair is, reach out to them. And if that doesn't work, we have a central committee at the state level. Karen Talion is the chair. You can reach out, go to there's lots of websites for these Democratic parties. There's the Indiana State Democratic Party website, and then you message them. And like, if you can't find anyone, message Project Next. I will help you personally if you cannot find one. And if you are looking for your Republican Party and you can't find one, reach out to me. I will do what I can to help you. But again, they should have county chairs, they should have district chairs, and then they should have a state chair. And go to that next meeting and kind of see how they're feeling. If you brought in people with you that say wanted to save public education and Republicans, that would give you more of a voice. Um, I am interested to hear what it would be like. So if you are a Republican that's going to try this out, please message me and let me know, because I don't know enough people personally to know what that experience is like. Um, okay, is there what advice do you have to say to people that are like, I don't know enough, Courtney. I don't know enough about state government to get involved. I can't do it. I'm going to say something stupid. I'm going to look stupid. What advice do you have to people that are thinking that? Because I bet a lot of us think that.
Yes, and that's how I feel even right now on this video, live video. I'm like, hopefully I don't say anything stupid. I mean, we're all
You
human, right?
Yep.
And so I think that's a really great point because to get involved, you do not have to be a politician. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know everything. Um, you can just be a regular person like me that cares. That's all it takes. That's truly all it takes. And, it's okay to make mistakes sometimes. We all do. And we just brush ourselves off and we learn from it and then we move forward. And also that I also want to touch on you can get involved however it makes you feel comfortable. So if you don't want to be a speaker at the meetings, that's okay. You can just go to the meeting, sit in and listen and learn how you can get involved in the background. Um, you can write letters to your representatives at home. You can make phone calls. You can help, like what I do, you can help with the social media pages. There's all kinds of ways you can get involved. Um, and you don't have to put yourself in like an uncomfortable position in order to do so. You can just be yourself and help in whatever capacity that you feel comfortable with. And so we always highlight that when we're speaking to people in our meetings that, there's so many different ways to get involved. You don't have to go out and, protest on the street if that makes you feel uncomfortable. If you're more comfortable with just, doing things and working in the background, then that's fine too. And then also, just building community, just talking with people is a way to get involved. Just simply being yourself and building community and supporting, local organizations that are aligned with your values. Maybe you want to help a local food bank, knowing that they're really needing a lot of extra help right now. So there's so many different ways that you can get involved to help your community. So I just wanted to highlight that as well.
That's such a good point. As on the leadership team, there's just a few of us that are working in Harrison County Democrats, and we do what we can. If somebody like says, "Well, let's do this," and I'm like, "Let's help feed the hungry," and I'm like, "That's great. We do two events already to help our people that need it the most. If you want to do something, can you lead it?" That's my question. Or can you find somebody that can lead it? Because there's only a few of us leaders and we're busy. So if you feel really passionate about something and you
Mhm.
find your political party and you say, "Can we do this and I will be in charge of it?" That helps a lot. Cuz I can support someone, but I can't run the
Mhm.
thing that they want me to run. I don't have enough time. So just be mindful if you are really passionate
Mhm.
about feeding people or helping people stay housed or whatever, fighting addiction, whatever issue you care most about, you can lead things that bring attention to that issue. Just ask and see if you will get some support. We don't know that you're thinking about doing
Mhm.
it until you let a leader know. You kind of stepped up and said you would help with social media, and they were like, "Great, because we need that." And then you're
Mhm.
secretary, and now you're doing it all the time whenever you can. It just takes
Mhm.
asking. And don't be afraid to say you don't know something. I try to
Mhm.
practice it all the time on these shows. People will come on and they'll say an acronym. I'm like, "What's that acronym mean?" I'm not going to pretend like I know it. I don't, or "What is that thing you just said? What is that
Mhm.
big word you just said?" I don't know. To try to like show it's okay to say we don't know something. How else are we going to learn it? We can't just pretend that we understand everything, which I think is it's a human thing we do for safety. We're just like, "Oh, I don't know that, but I'm going to act like I do."
Exactly. Yeah, and that's how we are in our meetings too, because we're all just, volunteers. Most of us are just kind of helping when we can. We work full time, have kids, and things like that. We don't know everything. So even as the meetings were growing, we were like, how are we supposed to like vote according to the rules? Let's look this up together. So we're all learning together. You don't have to know everything to get involved, truly.
I want to comment. I got some really good comments here from people. Centaur from YouTube said that she was briefly involved with a Republican group, and she said, "I suspect they would not allow participation by more reasonable voices. Leaders will not accept dissent." So let us know if that's what your Republican Party is like, or your Democratic Party, because we have Democratic county parties that are like that in Indiana, unfortunately. And I think the best thing to do is go and find out for yourself. Try and then let people know what it's like. Let people know. We can't just keep it secret. You kind of got to tell people, "Well, I tried to go because I want to support this and this thing or whatever." And then Tiffany is the friend I was talking about that recently joined Harrison County Dems. She said she's going to attend the safety and inclusion meeting tonight with South Harrison schools. But she found us on Facebook, Harrison County Democrats on Facebook, and randomly showed up. She's still looking for answers on how to solve things. Me too, girl. And she said we were very accepting, even though she votes as an independent. And it's like, no, we don't care. We just want to help the community. So thanks, Tiffany, for joining.
Mhm.
I want to talk a little bit about the problem I'm facing. I ran for state house as a Democrat. I'm planning on running again in an area that's very gerrymandered. I have very little chance of winning because of the way the Republicans in power have drawn the district to make it so they can stay in power. But I will run again. But something that I
Mhm.
realize is happening is I'm really involved in local politics. I see what these people in power are doing and I can get angry about it. But if I voice that anger, it can come out as bullying. Karen Engelman, she's 71, 72. She is the state house person that's been in power for a while now that I ran against. And I really didn't want to come after her as a person or anything negative about her. I didn't even really want to make her not feel good. She's older. Um, but I tried to go after how she voted. But even that was hard. And I would sometimes look like a bully. And I want people to realize that most Hoosiers, most people in your state do not know what's going on locally. Most people,
Mhm.
most voters don't even know who our elected officials are. If you said, like, "Who's our state senator?" They wouldn't be able to tell you. "Who's our state house rep?" They wouldn't be able to tell you.
Mhm.
Maybe they can tell you who the governor is. Um,
Yes.
So we got to realize that. Two, we have to realize even though these people are voting against us and they're voting against what most Hoosiers want, they're still human beings. And we forget that. And we look like bullies. So I want to talk about an event that we've been having. We're doing these events where it's where is Erin Houchin? That is our Congresswoman, Erin Houchin for District 9. So she goes to DC and she has quite a bit of power and gets to vote on things that become national laws. And there was an event not that long ago, maybe a month ago, where it was like a town hall and they invited Erin Houchin and she didn't come and they put up a cardboard picture of her and people yelled all the things Erin Houchin's doing wrong. And I just want everybody to stop and think, why would Erin Houchin go to that event? Because people are really angry at how she's voted and they're going to yell at her. She's a human being. I don't like how she votes, but I don't think she's going to show up to an event where people are going to scream and yell at her and get all worked up emotionally. Like she would literally have to like hire security to go to that event and be yelled at. I don't think she's ever going to go, you all. She's not going to come to an event where we're going to yell at her. She does show up. She shows up to Republican led safe events where she's not going to get yelled at. If I were an uninformed voter that doesn't know about Erin Houchin and how she votes, and I was walking around and I saw that town hall and I saw people screaming at a cardboard cutout of a woman, I would think they were bullies. And I think we need to realize that we come across that way. So I just want everybody to be mindful. How is that going to get more people to vote for better? I think it's just going to make the other side think we're bullies and mad at us and not listen to us. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, right? Because we need to lower the temperature, not make it worse. So I think it's important that people talk to each other and reach out across the aisle in a reasonable way. We're all human beings. But yeah, I've never really thought about it before that way until actually you brought it up. But that's a really good point because if you put yourself in another person's shoes, you have to think like, how would I respond to this if this was me? And I think everybody should be doing that on all sides. Like, how would I feel if, I wouldn't, as a human being, I wouldn't want to walk into like a mob of people, and I would probably be worried a little bit about safety too. So that is a really good point. And I also agree that we shouldn't be attacking people in our communities personally. What I focus on are with my local legislators is their policy, because that's what I have a problem with. Policies that are harming communities. So that's also another thing that we highly focus on in our local meetings is educating people on policies. Because, like you said, most people don't even know really who our local representatives are or what they're doing. So much is focused on the federal level, and we forget that there's people in our local communities writing legislation too that impact us. So we're very huge here on educating people and not attacking people personally, but letting people know, hey, our local legislator is writing this law that if passed, it's going to hurt everybody. Like Republicans, Democrats, it's not good for anybody. And
Right.
we want to educate people about that. So, yeah, we
Something that
definitely shouldn't just attack people personally.
something that I'm seeing since I'm getting so behind the scenes and actually meeting these elected people sometimes. Um they are being misled. So, like, I've only had a couple interactions with Karen Engelman, who I ran against for State House. And I had one time where we both spoke about public education. And I realized she believes the fake things that they're pumping out to Republicans. She believes school choice, voucher programs. She doesn't understand that that's stripping money from our local public schools and that the most of that money is going to like Indianapolis charter schools. It's being stripped away from Harrison County and that there aren't charter and private and great religious schools in our county and we need our public schools to be funded. So she legit does not understand the issues. If we keep yelling at her, she's just going to get mad at us and she's going to continue to think she's on the right side. Now, I am upset that I wish she would talk to people. this is our elected officials. They voted for her by a lot. I think I got 27% of the vote. She won't, if you reach out and say, I'd like to meet with you, I'd like a town hall, I'd like to go to something, she genuinely is not going to come. She's just going to ignore it. She probably doesn't even see it. I don't think she runs her own social media. So that is an issue. But I wish I could sit down and talk to Karen Engelman and I would not yell at her. I would really try to explain the public education issue. If we just yell at them all the time, why would they listen to us? I talk to
Mhm.
people that have nonprofits like Who's Your Action? And they can sometimes get in a room with these elected officials and they can sometimes stop bad things and sometimes, encourage good things, and they're being heard because they're not yelling at them. I am willing to
Mhm.
work with the Republicans in power and talk to them and explain to them what's going on. I don't know whether they will listen to me, but I'm at least not going to scream and yell. I just don't think that helps Indiana. I don't think that helps our kids in their schools at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's like, of course, someone doesn't want to walk into a mob. So there's a way of making your voice heard in a certain way where you're not just attacking the other person. However, at the same time, it's also important for the legislators to be accountable to their constituents and, allow for questions about their policy and things like that. So there has to be a happy medium. That's
Yeah.
not to say you can't be upset about the things that your legislator's doing. That's not just because we're saying like, yeah, you shouldn't just have like a mob group that you're inviting them to and expecting them to show up. That's totally different than being like, no, I just want to make my voice heard. Like, I just don't agree with this policy because it's harming people and I want them to know that's perfectly acceptable. There's a certain way of just going about it.
So we are at the heart of the actual problem. The problem is the people that have been elected that have these positions of power that are voting things that are hurting the majority of us are not listening to us. Some of them are. Some of them try a little bit, but the majority of them are not holding town halls. They're not being very
Mhm.
transparent in how they're voting. They get like Karen Engelman gets paid, the government pays for free mailers where she pumps out. And she pumps out kind of fake propaganda because she's like, look how much money I spent on schools. But put, she doesn't divide charter, private, public. So you don't really understand that they're defunding public education. So it's worded in a way that makes it look like she's serving us. So if you're not paying
Yeah,
attention, and you just get those mailers, you think our representatives are actually representing us. It's only when you dig a little deeper. So if you think
exactly.
our reps are representing us and then you're seeing people holding things where they're yelling at the representatives, it's like, man, they seem like bullies. So instead, we need to talk about the issues. Well, actually, they're
Hmm.
saying they're supporting education, but let's look at it and then let's explain it in a simple way. They're defunding public education. They're hurting our public education, and we cannot keep doing this. If we just break it down and teach the issues, that's what I want to do. I want to break
Hmm.
down the issues. Now, somebody
Yes.
said that Ed Clear, who is the state representative in the Floyd County area, he will meet with people. He is a Republican. He will. I have heard that Ed Clear was trying to vote to support public education, and then the other Republicans in power kind of bullied him, and I think they might have kicked him out of the education committee. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what happened. And now he doesn't really support public education as much anymore, but he is listening. So there is a Republican rep that does listen. And I think there's a few other ones that will listen. But the Democrats aren't that great either. Do you know what's going on in Indy? Have you heard about what's going on in Indy, Courtney? Um,
Not
the
recently.
Indy
Mm-mm.
the Indy City Council is mostly Democrats, and they are not standing up and supporting public education, and they are not really doing
Mm.
anything because they're so scared of the Republicans at the state level that they pretty much don't do anything. And Jesse Brown is a Democrat elected city councilman in Indy, and he is trying to do stuff. And the Democrats actually tried to take away his committees because he tried to make positive change. So everybody needs to realize it's not like all Democrats are good and all Republicans are bad. That is not true at all. A lot of people in power are not standing up for us there because it's hard. And it's hard in Indiana when there are bullies saying, no, you will do this or we will go after you. And you're like, well, I don't want to be attacked. I guess I'll just vote bad, you know. So I just want everybody to know it's not Democrat versus Republican. It's us versus them, and we've got to get more us's in positions of power that actually
Mhm.
care about Hoosiers.
Yes.
Do you, yeah. What do you have? Do you have any like tips on what we do to reach that? Because I mean, that's one of the reasons I started Project Next.
Well, I'll just say from my perspective in our small county, I just want to reiterate how important it is to be super inclusive and make sure that everyone's voices are heard. It does happen on all sides of the spectrum, even within Democrats and with Republicans. You People are going to have different ideas about going about doing things or how to vote or this and that, even within your own party. And it's important to be respectful, to listen to one another, and yeah, I think that's a great point that you made about what's going on in Indianapolis. I didn't really know about that, but that does highlight further that it happens everywhere, and we need to hold any representative accountable if they're not truly representing you and the community that they represent. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter what party affiliation they are. If these people are not held accountable for representing their communities, then they should be, held accountable for that. And we need better leadership um, in place that will actually stand up for the people.
Right. Yeah, it was really a bummer when I learned that, Courtney. I learned it not that long ago. I had Jesse Brown on the
It's
show and he
disappointing.
explained what happened. And sorry, what I say? Did I say your name wrong?
No, I just said, yeah, that's disappointing
Oh,
to
okay.
hear.
I thought I did it wrong. Yeah.
No, you
So
didn't.
yeah, so Jesse, yeah, he's amazing and he has a lot of support. He's good at using social media. So he has the people on his side and he's using them as a shield so that he doesn't lose. He actually did not lose his committee assignments, even though he doesn't have as many as Republicans have. And it's a majority of Democrats in the Indy City Council. So it's
And
bad
I,
when people don't pay attention to local because then
mhm,
people that aren't great on both sides get in power and they kind of
yes.
bully their way in. And they bully people and people don't want to be bullied. And so a lot of them just do what the bully says because it's terrible. And I've been bullied before. I know what that's like. It's awful. And we need strong, brave, moral people on both sides to get into positions of power. Now, this is easy. Courtney, you're brand new to this. So I'm going to teach you what I think Ripley County Democrats should be doing. And it's what I'm trying to help lead our people in Harrison County. We are less than 1 year away from primaries. In
Hmm.
1 year, I think it's May 5th, 2026, we all get to go and vote in Indiana and we get to pick a Republican ballot or a Democrat ballot. And then we get to pick, hopefully, there are choices of people and there'll be all kinds of different people on that ballot and we should educate ourselves who is the better person, who's moral, brave, standing up for all Hoosiers, who wants to protect public education, who wants to help our energy bills, because that's a big problem in Indiana. And we all get to vote for the best person of our political party. So if you're a Republican, you pick a Republican ballot and you pick the Republicans that you think are better. If you're a Democrat, you get a Democrat ballot, you pick for who you think is better. Now, 2 years ago, or a year ago, it was terrible in Harrison County. You picked a Democrat ballot, very little choices on there. I picked
Hmm.
my friend Tim Peck. I picked Jennifer McCormick. I picked certain Democrats, but the local offices, there were very few people on there. So there was very little reason for Democrats to go and vote in Indiana for your local primary. Then we don't get a lot of money from the Indiana Democrat Central Committee or from the national committees because we had such low Democratic turnout, it looked like we didn't have a chance. You all listening right now, those of you listening that have done very little, but now you're paying attention and you want to get more active, you can get on that ballot. You can run for something very, very small, like Township Advisory Board. That only meets a couple times a year. You get a little bit of money for it. And you would get to help set the requirements for county aid, for county money. So if you had people in your county that couldn't pay their water bill and they were going to be homeless, you can help set the requirements so that you can get them some money quickly so they could pay their water bill. That's one thing. You could run for township trustee. Those are people that oversees the money. You could help make the requirements easy to give people money, and you can give out county money to those people that need it the most. You can run for all kinds of things: county council,
Mhm.
county commissioners. You can run for state house. You can run for bigger things like prosecutor and judge or sheriff. There are giant things, but there are tiny things too. But this is
Yeah, if
how
you care
we,
about education, you can run for
yeah,
school board. Mhm.
yeah,
There's all
school
kinds of
board,
things.
which is now going to be partisan, unfortunately. Yes. So
Right.
this is what we should do. Have you been talking about that with your party, that we want to get people on the ballot? Have you done anything with that? I'm just curious.
We're actually going to be speaking about that tomorrow evening. So if you want to learn about, how do you run for something? What does that look like? We're actually going to be talking about that tomorrow. There's so much work to be done, um, and there's so little time. It feels like in our 1 hour meetings, they go so fast. But yeah, we will be talking about that tomorrow, and that's also so important because there needs to be more healthy competition. There needs to be more
Yes.
people on the ballot, more choices for people, because
Yes.
that's also a huge reason why people feel like they don't have a voice or like, why should I vote? Doesn't matter. So we need to show people that it does matter, and encourage people to run themselves if they're passionate about something. Oh, here's my cat. Here, my cat just came
Yeah,
up
I
here.
want to see the cat. Grab the cat. I want to see it.
Hello.
So, oh, hi,
We don't have a
sweetie.
name. He literally just
Oh,
we just found him
beautiful.
last week, so we just call
He's
him Kitty
gray
for now.
with green eyes. Is it a boy or girl? It's cute.
Yes, a boy. Yeah.
Oh, he's very handsome.
Mhm.
So,
But
yes,
yeah,
I
there's
think
so
it is
many
a grave
options.
mistake. I think it is a grave mistake for political parties to only like the incumbent. And the incumbent, when I say incumbent, that means the person already in power. That is a
Mhm.
grave mistake. I'm sorry. This is a democracy. The people get to vote for who is best. So they
Yes.
should not be favoring who's already in power. They should be
Mhm.
giving equal opportunity to whoever wants to get on that primary ballot. So I'm going to run for state house again, even though it's very gerrymandered. I'm going to run again. I would love for people to primary state house. I would like for there to be choices. And then District 70 for state house gets to go on that May 5th, 2026 primary ballot, get Democrat, and either vote for me or vote for the other person or the other people, whoever they think represents them the best. And if somebody does primary me, I'm going to have them on Project Next. I'm going to be nice to them. I'm going to give them advice. And that's how we should do it. Friendly
Yeah.
competition. I
Mhm.
don't understand the going after. People are going after George Hornito. He's a friend of mine, and he's running for Congress against Andre Carson, one of our Democrats in power. And he's an indie. So the Democrat's gonna win. So if somebody's gonna beat Andre Carson, it's gonna have to be at the primary. George Hornito is. All these Democrats are going after him like he's evil. I'm like, no, 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 no. Competition is good. We vote
Yes.
for who we want. If you like
Mhm.
Andre Carson and he's in your district, you get that ballot and you vote for Andre Carson. But if you want something different and you like what George Hornito is saying, you vote for George. I really don't like the people that are going after people that are primarying people. That's stupid.
Yes, I totally agree, and I think people are getting really tired of, like, political games and stuff like that. Most people don't care about that. They're just trying to live their everyday life. They want, affordable childcare for their children. They want, to be able to go to their library that's currently being defunded, unfortunately. Like in our town, we have the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and we're at risk for us not having that anymore,
Well, we're
because of
not
these
going to have it
policies, and my son benefits from that, so that saddens me.
unless Mike Braun's wife raises enough money to pay the
Yeah,
postage of the Dolly Parton Library, we're losing that. My oldest got free books from when he was born to age 5, and then my twins got them. They're beautiful books. We have loved that so much. What a great program to get in the mail. Kids get books that they get to read, and they're wonderful books. And the Dolly Parton
yes,
Imagination Library,
mhm.
they pay for
And
the books.
regardless of, like, your socioeconomic status.
Yes. And then they cut libraries by 30%, you all, in Indiana. And they also took away the purchasing power. Now they have to get purchasing approval from our county. So if they go to an extra step, so now it's harder for libraries to get the things that the community needs. It's just another way they're hurting people that need help the most. And I think most Republicans in Indiana don't know that these people are doing this, because my guess is Karen Engelman's not going to put on that mailer, "I defunded your library by 30%. I made it a lot harder for them to
Mhm.
purchase things for you." They're not going to put that on there,
Right,
on their little
exactly.
mailer. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have to tell them
And
in a nice way.
I do wanna right, and I do wanna speak to now the only reason why I'm speaking to Republicans when I say this is because they have the majority. Um, so I also just wanna bring attention to the fact that, again, a lot of people focus on the federal level, but not the local level, and I
Yep.
truly believe that even Republicans would not agree with a lot of the policies that our local leadership is putting out. I truly believe that. It's just that most people don't know, and they don't advertise that, like you said. So I really, really want to encourage, especially Republicans having the majority, you know, maybe not vote just down the ballot for all Republican just because of the party. Pay attention to who your local leadership is and if you want to vote for them based on their policies. I think that's so important. And I say this too because this is something that I'm very passionate about. And I've expressed this many times to my local representative, but my representative for District 55, her name's Lindsay Patterson, and she did try to pass a piece of legislation. I think it was House Bill 1344, if I remember the number right. And that bill is basically it tries to criminalize abortion, no exceptions, like very extreme, no exceptions for rape, incest, nothing, just and I know that most Republicans don't agree with that either, and it's very extreme. So, but of course, in the mailers that she sends out, she's not going to promote that.
Yeah.
And
They
so,
keep
really,
the
most
extreme
people
stuff
don't
quiet.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Yes.
we have to nicely let Republican voters or people that are not voting know what's happening, because it is hurting their daily lives way more than
Hmm.
what's happening at the national level. We have to tell them. We can't just
Hmm.
scream at the people that are doing it and look like bullies. We have to go much harder and meet our neighbors that we might be scared of, and just say, find out what they care about, and then explain how what they care about is being defunded at the state level. I guarantee they care about
Hmm.
something that our extremists in positions of power right now are doing to hurt them. So we just have
Yes.
to find out what it is and explain it. Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Right.
cannot thank you enough for coming on. You can come on again later. Let me know when you have something you want to promote and you can come on, even if it's just for a few minutes. You have my cell. Keep calling me, keep texting me. We will keep working on this together. Thank you for joining the fight to make it better to live in Indiana. Thank you for fighting for my children, for your son, for everyone else's. Thank you for fighting for those that are being hurt at the state level right now. It means a lot to me, and that's why we're friends. We're both fighting for the same thing. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being secretary of your Democratic Party and revitalizing the party. You are amazing. And everybody else that's listening, you can do it too. What do you care about? Just find other people that care about it and start doing things. It and you're going to mess up, and it's okay, because we're human and we mess up. I've messed up so much on my journey getting involved politically. And we just keep working together, learning, growing, doing this, right? We just keep doing it.
Yes.
Thanks for joining. If you all are watching, please invite your friends on Facebook to follow Project Next. Go to our Project Next Facebook page. Right next to where it says message, there's three dots. Click the three dots and hit invite your friends. That helps so much. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Look up Project Next or Project Next Movement and subscribe, and share our stuff. The more people that watch, the more the algorithm pumps it out to other people. So, since we're not pumping out here hate, fear, and division, we really need you all to help us, because the algorithm wants us to fight and we refuse to do it.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So thanks everybody. Thank you for those of you that commented. Your comments were really wonderful and helped a lot to the show. And it's also a podcast, so you can download Project Next You can subscribe to us on whatever, however you listen to your podcast, and listen that way, and just share with a friend. Is there somebody that you maybe want to get involved with you in whatever you care about? Share this with them, have them listen, and then talk about it. I'm meeting people now that are listening to the episodes and they are learning things, and it's really wonderful to hear that. So let's just keep doing it, everybody. And Courtney, keep rocking, girl. And I'm here for you. Keep sending me your questions. And sometimes I know the answer, and sometimes I don't. Right? I mean, it's like I'm figuring this stuff out too. And yeah, love you all. Have a great
Exactly.
rest of your day. Thank you so much, Courtney. Sorry we're having trouble, but it got better at the end. The
Thank you,
internet stuff.
Sarah.
Yeah, and have fun with your new cat.
Yes,
Text me
yes.
when you find out your name. The name I want to know.
Okay,
Oh,
I sure will.
big thing. I forgot to mention this. If you are a
Mhm.
local business and you're in District 9, especially in Indiana, you're in Southern Indiana, and you would like to be one of our first sponsors, we are offering discounts because you're going to be some of the first. We're offering really good prices. We're getting thousands and thousands of views on our content. So if you would like us to talk about your business, message us. We're reaching out to local businesses right now. And if you would like to be one of the first, you're going to get a little bit of extra attention for being some of the first. So, please let us know, and we can come and do a live show at your business. I will come, or Tim will come, and it's going to be really fun, and hopefully help promote, because we're all about local businesses, local communities working together. So
Yes.
yeah, so please message us if you have a local business that you would like to promote on Project Next. We are giving special discounts for the first few sponsors, so that's going to be exciting. I just had a big meeting with my friend Emma, who is helping us with advertising. And then I'm going to the bank today to work on stuff. So, starting a media company from scratch, it ain't easy, but we're doing it.
Yes, and Sarah, I just want to say I love your show. I love
Aw.
that you bring so many different people on. It's so important, like to me personally, to give voice to all kinds of different people, and you're so kind to everyone, and you're so inclusive. I just love that. So thank you so much for what you're doing, and all of the team members behind the scenes at Project Next. So important the work that you guys are doing with focusing on bringing people together. So important. So thank you so much.
Girl, that means a ton coming from you. Thank you so much for saying that. And it's easy when you have empathy for people. Just
Yes.
freaking care about people, even if they
Yes.
hurt your feelings, just freaking care about them. That's how we do this. We care about
Mhm.
those, even if we disagree with them. Most people are good. And if they're
Mhm.
not good, let's vote them out.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.